Garden update. We finally got some pumpkins popping. I've got some kind of bummer news about that, but we're gonna try to fix the situation in this video too. But let's start with the cool stuff. Our pumpkins obviously are getting bigger. I finally have cucumbers popping. I think I have like 14 cucumber plants. Again, some of my bummer news is with those. But again, we're gonna try to fix that situation. So stay tuned with us, sit through this video, and I'll let you know the problem and what we're gonna do to fix it. Our potato plants are doing awesome. I think I counted 30 that have popped, done really good. And there's actually another couple that have just started coming out. So that's looking really awesome. We're gonna take down the mounds where the things didn't pop, and I'm gonna put some things in their place just so we don't have any wasted space. We do finally have some carrots. This is what they look like when they sprout up. So we do have some carrots coming through finally on this section and the section back there. But look at these lettuce plants. We're definitely gonna be doing a harvest video on this lettuce. This is leaf lettuce, so this is something that we can harvest over and over again, which is super cool. But yeah, look how beautiful that is. Bright green. Then we've got this gorgeous leaf lettuce here. And then our Merlot lettuce, looking great. This is another section where we've got some carrots. The things were still really small, so I do have a lot of weeds in here too that I will start to take up probably this week now that I can see the carrots a little better. I just didn't want to accidentally pull a bunch of carrots. The tot soy, one of my best ones, is over here like in the path, but that's okay. I'm gonna leave it because I love tot soy. I didn't get a lot of it to pop, which is a bit of a bummer, but it's also like leaf lettuce where you can harvest over and over again. So we should still get a good amount of the tot soy that we did. I'm gonna try to plant some more in the fall because it, like lettuce and stuff, it actually does like kind of the cooler temperatures. We've got our cauliflower and broccoli where it looks like only like 3 of the plants are even surviving, which is fine. Honestly, I get nervous about it anyway. I know these pull a lot of bugs in, so I was kind of nervous to put them in our garden in general. I also know they like cooler weather, so I feel like it's something that we probably should have waited on, but we'll just try them again in the fall. But look at this. Finally with the green beans too. I can't remember how many I counted yesterday. I do have to weed over here. I've been doing little by little. It's a pretty big garden this year, so it takes a lot. I think I counted 40 corn plants that have popped, and they are the type that should have 2 ears on each. So we're looking at a good amount of corn coming. And then if I remember right, I think I counted 30 green bean plants, either 20 or 30. Either way, that's a really awesome amount. I have some more inside because I had restarted thinking nothing was gonna pop out here. And it did, so that's awesome. We've got some peppers at the end here. Again, this needs weeded. I focused on like our onion row and this row yesterday. So it's kind of like row by row each day because it takes a while. But luckily the weeds, I don't have a lot of like grass in here. So the weeds that I do have are actually pretty easy to pull up. It's these weird ones. I don't know what kind of weeds these are. They come up really easy. They have this purple at the bottom, which is so weird. I don't know what they are, but it's like the one thing that is surviving in the garden like crazy. One of the few things that survived through all the tilling. This section is supposed to be these peppers, as you can see this. So this section needs it quite a bit. But this side over here, we weeded yesterday. We've got some herbs, some parsley, a little volunteer sunflower. They get to stay wherever they pop up. And we've got peppers and tomatoes in this row. And then look at all these onions, how good they look. They look so awesome. They're doing so great. I'm so pumped about the onion and potato situation because I cook with those all the time. So that's pretty awesome. Look at all these volunteer tomatoes we get. That's another thing I just pull up. We get so many of them because tomatoes are something that I grew the most of my first few years because honestly, they're the most fun to grow. Tomatoes grow so fast. There's so many different variations of them. They're so fun to like prune in certain ways. The past few years, I've actually grown them along like fence lines, and the way I have like a cattle panel there, I've actually pruned them to where I've put them like 6 inches apart and have them grow straight upwards. But this year we're going to do it a little different. I kind of kept them out here. I'm going to let them bush out a little bit more. We've got our purple basil getting bigger, which is awesome. It's kind of a slow grower at first. Basil definitely grows slow at first, but then once you get it to a good size, it just really bushes out. And basil's another really fun one to grow that you can kind of tell how you want it to grow. I don't have anything yet to kind of show how I do it, but basically when you start to get kind of a little diamond area at the top of these, you can start to pick them off and it tells your basil plant to like bush out more, which is pretty awesome. So that's another one that's just really fun to prune in different ways and kind of tell how you want it to grow. These tomato plants are doing really awesome. So are the pepper ones behind that. I just love all the color in it. It's doing so awesome. And I'm so glad we finally got some green beans to come up. I was getting so worried about that. So let's go over and look at our problem we're having now. So this is the first year we've ever had this issue. And I don't know if it's because this is the first year we've had pumpkins up here. Pumpkins actually were not the first thing attacked. So I had the loofah gourds over here popping, and one day I looked at them and they had all these like black and yellow bugs on them, but the plants looked fine. So I just kind of laughed it off and didn't do anything. And at the same time, I had this pumpkin plant over here that had all of this going on. And I thought, oh, so weird. I've never had a pumpkin plant get so attacked like that. Well, I came out one day and noticed that the cucumbers are then being attacked. The cucumbers that are the third round of cucumbers I've done. And it's these little, see if we can see it on this little black and yellow bug right here. They are cucumber beetles. And I've never had an issue with cucumber beetles. I've had cucumbers every single year in my garden. And I've also had loofah gourds and birdhouse gourds in the garden. So again, I don't know if it was just the bigger pumpkin plants that kind of called them over or what happened, but we're having an issue with them. So I tried looking up different ways to repel or deter these bugs. That wasn't anything like pesticides. We don't like to use that in the garden. We've never had to. So I'm kind of going to try every single thing else first. One of the main thing it said was like row covers. And again, with us growing the cucumbers on this, that'd be kind of difficult to do. And it's just kind of one more step. So again, I like to keep everything as simple as possible. If we obviously need to take that step and start doing something more drastic like that, we will. So I had looked up how to do a repellent, and one of the first ones said like Tabasco sauce diluted with water. I don't have Tabasco sauce. So I looked up some more, and it said to do hot pepper and vinegar and garlic. So I have garlic powder. I have hot peppers that we grew in our garden and had dehydrated and made flakes with. They're extremely hot, like insane. And I have apple cider vinegar. So I'm hoping that that works as good as like a white vinegar. And then I also put in some canola oil because I read that if you use like canola oil or dish soap, that it will help it stick to the plants. So I've now made a spray. I've got it in a spray bottle. This was something that I had lying around and just cleaned it thoroughly to make sure it was okay, food safe. It was a bottle that I had a face like setting spray in, which is mostly water anyway. And I kind of figured even if there was something lingering on, then it should be all right because it's usually on your face and people kiss your face and stuff, right? So it should be safe. Still, I figured it's still better than pesticides. So we're going to try. So the smell is insane. I'll see if I can open this up maybe and see if we can look inside. It's pretty crazy looking concoction. It's kind of cool looking though. So let's see if we can get a little glimpse of what's in here. I don't know if that shows very good. Can you see in it? So there's peppers and garlic powder and oil and vinegar all in there. It's a rough smell. It's crazy. I know if I was a bug and eating on something, I would no longer eat on it if it smelled like this. So we're just gonna go along and we're gonna spray. I'm wondering how well it'll work. And this sprayer, it's probably already getting clogged. All right, I went in and got a new sprayer. I didn't want to use this one. This is one of my good spray bottles for hair, so I won't be using that again. Because this burns. I got it on my finger and I rubbed my face. So the hot peppers are definitely still good and still in there. So we are going to spray this. I also added more water into it to dilute it some more because I thought maybe that's why it was really hard to spray out because of that. So I'm just gonna go along. We're gonna spray these best we can. I'm gonna go along here and then we'll go over and we'll spray the pumpkin ones too. This might just not help me. No. Okay, I've broken another spray bottle and I don't want to use any more of mine. So we're just going to go through and try our best to lightly put this on without a spray bottle. That's really tough. Hopefully it doesn't matter that there's like the little chunks of peppers. Oh, that sucks. You definitely can't get on it the same. Oh, I should have sprayed these. Oh, there's one of the bugs. Oh, I couldn't catch it. So another thing you can do with these bugs, yeah, I gotta go get another spray bottle because that's not gonna work. Oh, I was hoping to catch that one. So literally one of the things they say is to just smash the bugs between your fingers when you see them because that's, they're awful, you guys. They're so awful. They did all this damage within like 48 hours. It really sucks. Here's one. Oh. But, so you really want to get at it as quickly as you can. So if you see this, go looking underneath your leaves. There's almost always like a pair of them on top of each other. Oh, look at it. I thought that was a little mushroom growing, but it's a little spider with her eggs. She's like, oh gosh, I can smell this pepper. I gotta get away. It seemed like she definitely didn't want to be near it. So I'm gonna go try to get this spray bottle working one more time, and we're gonna spray down these pumpkin plants and hopefully be good. So try number 4037. I am just gonna use a water bottle that I poked a hole in, like how I watered my plants when they were seedlings. Don't put like oil in a misting sprayer, you guys, because it's gonna clog and break your sprayers. So we're just gonna do it this way instead because I don't have a regular sprayer other than one that I have like a bleach mixture in. And even if I thoroughly clean that, I just wouldn't want to risk it. My plants are already having a hard enough time. So we're gonna go through and we're gonna spray or squirt them with this instead. It seems like it works pretty darn good. So we're gonna do this instead. Just kind of coat them with it. I did sift out the pepper flakes because I didn't know if that's what was doing it, but I don't think it was. I think it was just the oil getting too thick. So I diluted it a little more, sifted out most of the pepper flakes, and it still didn't work. So I used this, and this looks like it's actually gonna work pretty good. So let's flip this camera around, get these hosed down, and see if we can fix our bug problem. All right, we're gonna try to sneak up on this. Oh, yep, and he went away. That's all right, because I guess since we know that they're out here right now, it'll be a good indication of whether this is gonna work or not if I see them later today. Now, because I have to do it this way instead of with a sprayer, I might go through this stuff quicker, which is not a big deal. I have plenty of this stuff to make it back up. I know they like the undersides of plants. I don't have more than one hand right now, so I don't know if I should maybe be moving it and trying to squirt the underside. They also say that marigolds are a deterrent, but as you can see, I have marigolds right next to these, and I was still getting bugs on them. I think I had gotten that one a little bit. I feel like I got these ones pretty good. I don't know how often I'll need to do this, if this is something that I'll have to come out every day and redo, or what. I don't know how good the misting thing got these, so we'll just do a couple of those again with that. I really want to make sure, it seems like they really love the pumpkin plants, so we want to make sure we get these. I did also read that if you plant blue Hubbard squash, that's something that they love so much that they'll basically go for that instead. So it's kind of like a way to plant, you know, kind of like a trick plant, something that they'll go for instead of the plants that you like. But obviously these plants are already pretty grown, so for me to start a blue Hubbard squash right now, it would take too long, and these would already be gone before I had that chance. Obviously, if I go in town and I see someone who has a blue Hubbard squash, I will absolutely buy it, because I would just honestly at this point try anything. Again, I've got big marigolds right there next to these, which actually these, I mean, that one's not really touched. This one was a little bit though, so I don't know how much the marigolds are really helping, if they're just not giving off enough scent right now maybe. But yeah, we'll start with that. Hopefully that's not anything that's going to be too harsh on my plant. The plants that I'm putting them on, I couldn't really find anything that was giving me like a good like mix ratio. So I'm not sure if I'm maybe using too much of something. I know with the Tabasco sauce, it said like 2 tablespoons of Tabasco sauce with a gallon of water, so I might honestly be putting way too much of something in here. So maybe I should have just tried on a couple plants. I'm gonna come out and all these will be all these will be gone. That's okay, you guys will learn with me, we'll see. So now that I've jinxed myself, maybe I won't do it for these last 2. But yeah, so those are the problems we're having. But for the most part, look how good those sunflowers are doing. For the most part, the garden's doing really great. I can't complain. This is our biggest garden by far that we've ever had, and so many things are doing awesome. And you know, you learn as you go. And even here, I think this is year 3, it might be year 4. We got really lucky. Our first year went like insanely perfect. I started a lot of things inside. They were insanely big by the time we got them outside, and I think that that's why. Whereas these later years, the first year I only had 1 child. I was pregnant, but I only had 1 child at the time. So things are a little easier when you only have 1 little human running around, especially because she was like 5. So it was easier to start things inside, but they took up a mass amount of space. And once we had our 2nd child, and then of course once we had our 3rd, it was just a lot inside. So I've been trying to start more and more outside, but I can definitely see how when you're starting from seeds outside, things are just more susceptible to going down with things like bug problems. So it's just hard to kind of make that decision. Like, do I take up a bunch of space and have a bunch of obnoxious plants inside for like 2-3 months and then get them outside and they're stronger and can handle more? Or do I try to find ways to deal with the pests and just put things outside as seeds and not have all of the stress of trying to get these plants going inside, especially because things happen like this year. Our dog, our Great Dane inside, had stomped on all of our plants the day we went to put them out, which is why we had the issues with the green beans over and over again. But yeah, I think things are going better now. Fingers crossed. So if you are just starting out, I know sometimes it feels like it's too late to start, but it seriously never is, especially with cucumbers because they can go so late into the season. So if you're just starting out, do a Hubbard squash with it. Trust me, it'll be worth it. Let it take up some space in your garden so that the rest of it can just flourish and not have to worry about it. But yeah, that's our update. Even with the issues, I'm still super, super proud. Best garden we've ever had still. And I cannot wait to see how good these harvests are. Again, we're gonna do the first harvest of lettuce probably this week. We'll cut that leaf lettuce for the first time, have some yummy salads, put it on some burgers. It'll be awesome. And just stay tuned and stick with us and comment if you have any other tips or tricks, because like I said, we're always learning and I'm always listening. So if you've got something that's worked for you, tell me. I'm desperate.